It's Fred Karger. Fred who? Hi, that's me, Fred Karger. I need some help from my friends here in New Hampshire.
Then back in the Granite State.
I'm strongly considering running for president in 2012.
President?
Heard you say something about president.
Tell me about yourself, then.
I'm an independent Republican from Laguna Beach, California.
No kidding.
I'm a Republican, so I was interested especially to hear about an independent Republican.
I've worked as a political consultant and strategist for over 30 years.
I've never run before.
I want to help bring back the American spirit, just as my old boss Ronald Reagan did.
I want to open the flaps of the tent and let everyone in. Are you old enough for a frisbee?
I would be the candidate of bold, new ideas.
I want to shake it up a little.
Yeah, I call myself an independent Republican.
So am I.
But before I run for president, I need your help.
Hey!
I'm testing the waters in New Hampshire to see if I can raise some funds from my friends. That will help determine the next step. Please help me out by going to fredkarger.com.
Check out the website.
Sign up and make a contribution today.
Good luck.
Well, thank you.
Well, we'll keep an eye on you. Nice to meet you, Fred.
Thanks, New Hampshire.
Good evening, everyone. That's my first commercial that I started running back in September, right after the primary and the Labor Day kickoff. And I thank New Hampshire. I also want to thank our great chair of the New Hampshire of the St. A's College Republicans, Brock Weber, for putting this together. He just did an incredible job. And Jake Wagner, who is the executive director, has been helping me, who did an also excellent job. Thank you, Jake, over here. And also Neil Levesque, who is the director of the New Hampshire Institute of Politics, who has created what I consider kind of the Cooperstown of politics for us political junkies. This is a very exciting experience for me to be back here. I spoke here when I premiered that commercial back in September of last year. And just to be on the stage where so many other famous political figures have been is pretty spectacular. And I want to thank everybody for coming tonight. It's a great turnout. It's a beautiful event. And everyone who's worked long and hard in putting the straw poll together. I also want to thank some of my team who's here today. We've got Lee Hunter over there, who represents us in southern New Hampshire and UNH. And Tyler Ford, the Fred Who t-shirt next to him, who's our rep at Dartmouth. Kevin Miniter, many of you know, has been traveling with me, our research director, and kind of overseeing New Hampshire, who's a Mainer, or a maniac as he likes to call himself. And then we've got Matt, the intern, who's spending his first week here, goes to University of California, San Diego, and they have an exchange program, internship in Washington, and his first week on the job. So thanks for coming up. He's staying with a family in Manchester who put up some Clinton volunteers 4 years ago for Hillary. So we have a full-fledged campaign going. As I said, this was the very first commercial to run in New Hampshire. I ran one in November after the midterms in Iowa. I was the first to announce my serious intention of running at the Southern Republican Leadership Conference in New Orleans, about 11 months ago. And I was the first to set up an exploratory committee, July 18th of last year. And as many of you know, I was the very first candidate to file with the Federal Election Commission just 1 week ago. I walked into the FEC in Washington, D.C. with Sabidia and my communications director down there, a little operation, and my documentarian has been following me, and I signed my life away. I filled out the paperwork, turned it in to run for President of the United States. And then I left the building, and I walked out on E Street, and there's this, it looks like something that landed from another planet, is the FBI building. And it kind of hovers over E Street, and it's a good little reminder to us politicians to keep it honest. So I'm going to give you 5 for Fred, 5 reasons, why Fred. I've got Fred who, but why Fred. And I have been an outsider in this race. I'm the one who's never held office, which is kind of ludicrous. How could a guy like me run for President of the United States? Well, I'm over 35, I'm a natural-born citizen of this country, and I'm a 14-year resident. That's all it takes. And actually, filing for president is free. But I think in this time, an outsider, someone who gets along with people, someone who is an independent Republican like I am, who supported Democrats and Republicans, I think is kind of a breath of fresh air. I think it'll be welcome because our politicians doing business as usual in Washington just is not working. They're not doing the daring things we need to do to cut the size of government, to make government work, to live within our means. On the issues, reason 2. I am going to make education reform my #1 issue. I'm determined to help our school system, to educate our kids. You know, every 26 seconds, one high school student is dropping out of high school. It's a disaster. We're losing to the rest of the world. You know, this country basically invented public education. Well, now we're 21st in math, we're 25th in science. We're having to hire people from other countries to fill our tech jobs here. And education, and you know, to this audience from all over the state, from students here at St. A's and other colleges and universities, you know, that is my #1 concern. We need to compete, we need to get good educations, we need to keep our kids in school. And jobs first is my other issue. Because our jobs are being outsourced to other countries, we have to stop that. We have to discourage corporations from sending 30,000 jobs to Poland and India and the Philippines, to keep those jobs here. I want to work with these corporations to incentivize them to keep the jobs in America. And I think that's important. Reason 3, I'm unique in the fact that, you know, 90% of my campaign appearances, and I've had several hundred since I started this last February, have been at colleges and universities. I want to open up the Republican Party. I want to, as I said, lift the flaps of the tent and include people and bring in younger people. And I was very heartened to hear Chairman Reince Priebus at the State Republican Party fundraiser the other night saying just that. We need younger people in the Republican Party. We need college students. We need, you know, that Obama demographic, the 18 to 29-year-olds that my old boss Ronald Reagan brought into the party with great success. And that's what I want to work and help develop. And then I am making history, and I did last Thursday when I filed. I'm the first openly gay candidate to ever run for President of the United States. I want to represent my community, the gay, bisexual, transgender, queer, and lesbian community. It's never happened before in our years, although we did have a gay president, James Buchanan, our only bachelor president, and he succeeded. A few little problems with the Civil War, which Lincoln was able to take care of, who was, of course, our first Republican president. But I want to talk about issues important to our community. I want to make sure that this Don't Ask, Don't Tell, which was repealed by a very good bipartisan vote, is enforced and is repealed, and they stop firing people for being who they are. And the employment non-discrimination law, which is a disgrace, you know, because we can still fire people in 16 states for being gay, 39 states for being transgender. We need to get rid of that. We need a law to protect people in every state. The Defense of Marriage Act, which is, you know, the sanctity of marriage, it's called different things. We need to end that. Bill Clinton signed it. He's against it now. We need to get rid of that. It's sending a terrible message to younger people. We have a way too high a rate of teenage suicide and bullying, and we need to end that. And then HIV/AIDS, we need a cure, we need a vaccine, we need to educate people. I want to talk about that issue more, and I have been. And then the anti-bullying legislation in the federal government. We need to protect our younger people in our schools. The 5th reason is my old boss, Ronald Reagan, whom I worked for very closely in 1980 and 1984. You saw him in the commercial, shaking hands. I was by that cardboard cutoff. There's another one over here, cardboard cutout up in Concord today. You know, he brought this tremendous optimism to this country. He made people feel good. You know, when he took office in 1981, we were in terrible shape, not only internationally with the hostage situation we lived through with Jimmy Carter, but, you know, the economy was terrible. Unemployment was high. Inflation, which fortunately we're not plagued with now, is at 10.5%. It was a very scary situation. Well, he did certain things like tax cuts, but what he did was to invigorate a country that was very down at the time and was not feeling good about itself in the world and everywhere else. Well, he had that eternal optimism, and he brought it to all people who worked for him, and he brought it to the country. I like to say he talked us out of that last recession. I want to bring some of Reagan's qualities and enthusiasm and excitement and optimism to this campaign and to this country. I've been to this state 13 times. I came here in February, and I've been at least once a month ever since. I usually stay for 5 to 7 days. I'm looking for a house in Manchester. I'm going to be spending at least half my time here. If anybody knows of a nice big 4-bedroom, 5-bedroom house that we can rent for the next 11 months, you know, see me or see Kevin. I got my Timberlands. I've got my Osgood Marley briefcase. I want to be a New Hampshire person. I love the state. I've loved every part of this experience, all 13 trips, being a part of this primary, being in the famous Institute of Politics here, where, you know, it's the museum of what I did for 27 years as a political consultant, and I want to participate in this. I want to shake things up. I want to encourage a lot of people in this. We're going to have a lot of fun in this campaign. We're going to have these Saturday precinct walks. I hope everybody's gotten a Fred Frisbee. We gave out hundreds and hundreds yesterday on campus at lunch, the free Fred Frisbee giveaway. And I want to give a Frisbee to every household in New Hampshire. We're going to do Saturday walks. We're going to go door to door. We're going to be inclusive. We're going to meet. We're going to get together. We're going to have speakers, and then we're going to go out and walk, and then we're going to come back and, you know, have barbecues and pizza, and really get people involved in this process. It's going to be real tail politics. So the primary is looking like it's going to be on February 14th. I tweeted today, Florida's rearing its ugly head and trying to jump ahead of New Hampshire and Iowa, and I'm very much against that. I think, you know, they tried to do that last time. Others have spoken out against even holding a Republican convention in Tampa. If they do, I think New Hampshire needs to keep its position as first in the nation. I want to close. This has been a kind of an emotional roller coaster for me. You know, I mentioned I'm the first openly gay candidate. Well, it's still hard for me to say. I've been gay my whole life, but this is a brand new experience being out and open. It's only 2.5 years for me that I've been this way, where I can actually talk about it. And I announced it from this very podium last September to another kind of a crowd at a Republican candidates forum. But the reason I'm doing this, the reason I became active with my community politically, is this email that I got yesterday. I get a lot of emails from a lot of kids, but I said I'm doing this to help younger people. Well, this is from a young man who's 16 years old. My name is Andy, leave his last name out. I'm a 16-year-old openly gay sophomore at Robert E. Lee High School Northeast in San Antonio, Texas. I would like to personally thank you so much for running for president. I completely agree with your views and morals, and I would absolutely vote for you if I could. I will, however, try to convince my parents to vote with all of my power. Thank you for giving me hope that one day I will be able to marry the person I love. Thank you also for being an inspiration to people everywhere. I wish you the best of luck on your journey and hope you have success in all your goals. That's why I'm in this, and for our party and for our country. Thank you very much for giving me the opportunity. I hope you'll consider voting for me in the straw poll.